Hello, architects, and welcome to this stream of what's happening and going forward. Today we have two paradoxians with us. It's me, Michaela, who is your community manager that you might have seen if you watched the earlier streams, and also our senior producer, Sebastian.
Hello.
Hello, hello. And also behind the scenes, we have our fantastic Alex playing the game live right now so you can see everything. It's played on the streaming setup in Stockholm. So you just see that in the background, and it's going to be playing while we talk today. So the focus today is going to be on the plan forward, as I said. We're going to make sure that you all know what the whys and the whats and everything that's going on around the delay, as well as the background for it. And we want to be able to get more into detail about the delay and the timeline and all of that nitty-gritty stuff. And as I said, our super busy senior producer here, Sebastian, is with us. And we're prioritizing questions then about the delay. So the first question of the stream. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Yeah?
I'm doing good. Yeah, it's busy, but things are moving forward. And happy to be here with all the big fans that you are. So
yeah,
I think maybe we should just get into it directly.
So the questions we have also been collected from the Discord, from the forum, from YouTube comments on other places on our previous streams. So we have gathered questions to talk about, and we will also answer questions from the chats as well if we see them. But the first question here is, here it is. Who made the decision to delay the game?
So the decision to delay the game, it's a joint effort between us here at Paradox, the product team here, and of course the developers as well. So the decision, if we should cover why we did it, we started seeing a lot of stability issues with the game, so that's the main reason why we are delaying it. So yeah, that's the answer to the first question.
Yeah. Which moves us over to the second question, which is a little bit longer. So why did we decide to delay the game with only 3 weeks until release? Why was the delay so long? And did we not see these issues last time before we did this delay?
Yeah, so the first time we did the delay, we started seeing some crashes. Like, we had a build that was ready to be released. It had gone through certification, but it was like we could technically release it, but there was still stuff that we wanted to improve. Like we wanted to polish the game more, increase the FPS as well. So that work had been done during the time we were certifying the base game. So then when the base game was certified and we took that version of the game and merged it with the stuff that had been going on during the certification, there was some conflicts, so we started seeing more crashes there. And at that point, we decided to push the release. We then continued to fix these crashes, and there was a very big amount of work done to memory optimization, which was needed for the lower spec machines. And that did improve performance, but we started seeing some more stability issues with that, unfortunately. And that came in not long ago, like that report. So that's why we took the call to delay so close to release, because it was also like the final test, we were hoping that it would actually be in a shippable state, but unfortunately we saw some more stability issues and we had to continue working on those.
Yeah, and as you also see on the stream here, as Alex is playing, the game works, and it's also due to our streaming PC being a heavy PC with heavy specs. So I know on YouTube we have the specs listed in the description, and I think we might also have that ready by Eleanor and Rose, and can copy and paste that if anyone is interested in Twitch as well. But yes, it's what you say. The next question is, what is it that's really not working? And if we have a more detailed answer, which you probably have.
Yeah, again, like the main reason is the stability part. There are, of course, a couple of bugs as well, and we do want to increase performance in certain parts of the game as well. For example, now when there is a riot or very big fights, the FPS drops with like 5 to 10 FPS, which is not the quality we're aiming for. So that's something that we're working on. Then there are bugs. I can just give some example with the paramedics, for example, the riot guards who are not behaving as they are intended to. So sometimes they get stuck in a spot and don't react to fighting units and stuff. So those are some of the quirks that we probably would not have time to fix if we if we kept the original release date of May 7th. So it's that, and then it's also UI and UX improvements. So also just an example, if you play the game now and you have certain inmates who are injured, then they will not do any exercise, but there is nothing in the game that tells you that, and that can cause quite a lot of frustration. So it's a lot of those smaller things that we want to work on as well up until this new release date.
Yeah. And let's see here, moving along. What features are you working on more during this time? It's also tying into what we've been talking about, but...
Yeah, I mean, right now the main focus is still on crashes and performance. It's not fully under control yet. There are still some crashes that we are seeing on the latest results, but it's looking better than just a couple of weeks back. So we have a good trajectory.
And that's for the min specs mostly.
Yeah, min spec and consoles. That's correct. So that is the main focus, while also being able to put more resources on bug fixing those specific bugs I mentioned. And of course, when we start fixing more bugs and we start getting crashes under control, whenever we fix something else usually breaks, but the ideal scenario is that whatever breaks is a very minor issue, so that it's not critical for release. That's usually how it works and how it should look.
Yeah, and how it usually is in game development, that things happen, but you're able to fix them.
Yeah.
Nice. And can those who purchase the game get early access, beta access, a demo copy, or the like before the release? We've seen this question in a lot of places.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought were you talking about the pre-order?
No.
Oh, sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Let's see.
I looked at the next question, so.
Oh, yeah. Can those who purchase the game get early access, beta access, demo copy? Did I jump? I probably skipped a question. I'm sorry.
That's all right. We already have a close beta group who have been super helpful, and it's been great working with them. I think we started more than a year ago. And we're currently not planning to add more people or to have a demo for now. Like, the focus is, first of all, get the crash under control, and then put all the remaining resources to improve the overall quality of the game.
Yeah.
So no.
We already know what we need to work on.
Yeah,
so,
we have a lot of feedback.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep on working with that.
Yeah.
So let's move back a question, because I'm moving too fast here. What features are you working on during this time?
So it's, again, the crashes and performance is a main priority right now. And once we have that under control, we'll be able to focus more on basically all the features in the game, to just polish them up to a level where we're all happy with it. And yeah, I mentioned some of the specific issues with riots and performance. It's also the career mode that we're improving. It's already seen some improvements, especially regarding to the onboarding and also balancing them a bit, because we've done quite a lot of changes to the needs and balanced the entire needs system. And then that means that we also need to go back to all the career modes and make sure that they are also up to date. Because we had an issue where with this new balance, basically whenever you started a new career mode, everyone was super frustrated and just started chaos, creating chaos all the time, which is not a great experience. So we're working on that as well.
You don't need hard mode from the start.
No.
So that's a good thing that we're fixing that. So yes. Let's see the next thing. Will this delay mean that we will get gangs and other PA1 DLCs added to the game before the release?
Yeah, and the short answer is no, and the reason is it would just add too much risk to the base game that we want to release. So no, the focus is going to be on bug fixes and the crashes and the performance stuff. That's our main goal. But if we manage to fix the crashes earlier than planned, then we have more time to polish the game and just make it look better and play better.
Yeah. And also, if you have any suggestions, we are looking in the forums for your suggestions that you add. So whenever we would have time, we check those and see if there are any features that you want to vote for and want in the game. We look at those. So I think Rose and Eleanor can put a link to the forum in there. And then just vote for the things that is already there. But also, if you see something that's not already in there, make sure that you add that so that we have a track that we can see that people want some things for the game. A continuation also on this is that many has asked about DLCs and if there will be free updates in the future. Do we have anything about
definitely. That? Following the standard, the paradox model I say is a plan. So yeah, we have DLCs. There will be free updates together with those DLCs. And our aim is to, if we release big features, that base version of that feature is free, and then the DLC will just be, more stuff regarding that feature. Yeah, that's the target.
But right now, we're not focusing on DLCs. We're focusing on the base game.
Yeah.
Will there be any quality of life improvements in the game from PA1? An example, will you implement some of the suggestions that has been made before launch, which is tying into the same questions?
No, I would say this is very unlikely because again, we need to squash bugs and fix crashes. Yeah. So that's what we're gonna do. I would say adding like quality of life stuff depends on how you define it. Like there can be small tweaks to a UI, and that sure is a quality of life improvement, but there is not going to be anything huge if we have time to do anything in that regard.
Nice. Next question: will we get all features in PA1 now that you delayed the game for so long? Which also ties in.
Yeah, I think I answered this with the question about gangs. So yeah, no, we were not planning to add more features at this point. It's too risky to do. Yeah.
We've also seen a lot of questions about how to get a refund, and I'll answer this one. For console, that's automatic, so that should have been, the process should have been started already if you haven't already gotten your refund there. For Steam, you should reach out to the Steam platform through the support there. Eleanor and Rose, I'm asking you again to post the link there. And it's through their standard of how to do refunds on games that are not yet released. So that's how that's going to work. Just want to help out as much as possible for those that are wondering. And you can also always repurchase the game afterwards if you want to, but you don't have to. But yes. How can we be sure that there's not going to be another delay?
Yeah, I get this question a lot. So we feel confident. I'm confident in the timeline. We have more buffer in this new timeline. And as I mentioned, like the amount of crashes we see now has gone down, so that is feeling very good, which hopefully means we can focus more on the fun stuff, right? Polishing the game more. So that's basically it. It's a bigger buffer, and we're in a better state. And again, some players have been asking why we communicate this so close to the release, and that's what I said earlier as well, which is we were doing this last testing for the stability part, and we were hoping that that would be looking very good, but unfortunately it did not. So yeah, we have some more stuff that we need to fix, basically.
Nice. And we've also seen questions about, is the game coming to Mac?
We investigated Mac earlier in development a couple of years ago, and we also took a look at the data of how many players are on Mac right now, and it's around 1%. So looking at how much time we would need to build this working on Mac is not where we want to put the resources. So it's not going to be on Mac, unfortunately.
For those to play on Mac, I'm sorry. For now. Who knows for the future, but for now. To go into that as well, will it come to the Steam Deck?
So it's currently playable on the Steam Deck. I play on it here and there, and but it's not. We don't have the check mark from Steam just yet because the text is a little bit too small and the settings menu is not fully working. So we want, of course, to have the green check mark, but if we have to prioritize Steam Deck versus having a game that's not crashing, we're gonna have to go with the crashes. So this is also like, yeah, if the trajectory continues as it's doing, then we hope to have time to just get those two remaining fixes, and then it should be all good. But it's based, like the console version and the PC version is based the same game. So controller-wise, it's all the same. It's not like a port, which we do sometimes with consoles. It's working the same. So it's not a huge amount of work to get it working.
So it's possible.
It's possible, yes.
Nice. This is also a little bit of a longer question. I worry about the work-life balance with the developer team. Will the executives in charge ensure that the dev team isn't going to be forced into an additional massive crunch period and that they aren't working 14 hours a day, 6 or 7 days a week? Yeah.
We shouldn't get there. We, of course, do not want any devs to crunch. From experience, it doesn't really increase the velocity. It might work in like 1 or 2, 3 weeks, but then it usually goes down. So it's not a good way to work. And with this extra time, with the buffer, we definitely shouldn't have to be in that position. So. Yeah. Yeah, and also we are a Swedish company, Paradox, so we the work-life balance here in Sweden is very important to everyone. So healthy devs is usually equals a good game, and what we want, what everyone wants, really. Let's see here. We had a question. Will there be more Easter eggs in PrisonArchitect 2? If there will be more? I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure there are some Easter eggs in there. The devs, they don't usually say when they add that, because, yeah, it should be up to the player to just find it. Yeah. Let's see here. We've also seen this question asked a lot. How many prisoners can you have in the game? Have we stress tested the game with inmates? Yes, we have stress tested for sure. That's basically what we've been doing this last couple of months. The maximum, I think, at least when we run the test, is roughly 300 inmates and supporting staff, so that can be like 50 staff. And that works on good machines. On less good machines, yeah, that's when we have crashes. So that's what we're working on. We are looking into, it's not decided how we're going to do it yet, but we are looking into having some sort of limit on how many inmates, or if we're going to limit it to how many staff you can have in the prison, to make sure that you don't hit the target where the game will just crash every hour, right? So this is something we're discussing. We'll see where we land with it, but it's we're looking at having something in game so that if you want to, you can disable it and just go, you know, how many inmates you want, and see how long you can play without the game just not being very happy.
Yeah, just have the mutators and shut them off for the things that you don't need or you do want.
Yeah, but I can add a bit. I think like on the tests we're doing, so it's set up in 3 scenarios, which is early, mid game, and late game. Mm-hmm. And the late game one, it's been 5-hour game sessions, and then what we do is we take a look at, okay, during these 5 hours, how many crashes do we have? And that's how we evaluate the stability of the game. So those are the tests that we've been running, I think 3 times now, running a 4th one now, and then we continue doing that until it looks good.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Sounds like a lot of tests.
It's a lot of tests.
But it's also good in order to make sure that the game is doing what we want it to.
Yeah.
We have a next question. Will there be any physical release of this game? No physical copies are planned. Easy question. Next here we have, do we have a roadmap on what we're working on from now until release? And I can answer a little bit more about that. Ish, yes and no. We don't have a specific roadmap in the sense that we're going to write out everything that we're going to do and how we're going to do it. We have talked a lot today, or you have talked a lot today about what we are prioritizing and the things that we are looking into. And what we are looking into is having some kind of written format as a bullet point list or something that's easily digestible for you as a player to just see what is it that we have in front of us, and is it ticked off or is it scratched out. We're still playing around with the concept of everything, but we do want you to have something that you can look and see that we are following our plan, we're working on getting the game together and all of that, but in a less strict format, I think is a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's see here. Can we talk a little bit more about things that are in the game that we want to work on until release?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say crashes more because I think that's pretty obvious. I did mention some specific bugs as well. And yeah, looking into like if we need to limit staff or anything like that. We also have stuff we want to improve in regards to the AI and how they behave. We see sometimes, for example, that the guards are not reacting properly to inmates misbehaving. It's quite rare, but of course it would be nice to never see that. And then balancing the needs as well, as I mentioned. And not only balancing stuff, but also improving the UX more so that you understand why the inmates are behaving the way they do, because that's not always super clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the main reason, and of course crashes and performance.
Of course, but that's not the fun part.
Yeah.
Well, it is the visible part, but everything that you want to know is what are we working on more, and so that's great for us to know. Let's see here. I think we might have a last question that we have collected. And we've kind of touched upon that a little bit as well with how demanding will the game be, considering the unexpected results from the min specs requirements.
Yeah, I mean, compared to PA1, it's definitely more demanding. It's 3D and it's multiple floors, right? But the target is on the min spec to reach around 300 inmates and have 30 stable FPS.
Yeah. That's a great base.
Yeah, and on recommended spec and higher specs, of course, you'll be able to reach higher FPS on there. So we're not capping anything.
Nice. I saw a question here in the chat as well. Will the beta continue if the main game is delayed any further? And well, as you mentioned earlier, we have a closed-ish beta with people that we trust that have been on the game for a really long time and helping us. And it all depends on how it's going to look, but they are still helping us and have been helping us progressively with feedback and information. So they will continue to do so no matter what the outcome is. But we hope that we don't need another delay because we're going to be working towards not having that.
Yeah, I think some of them were even in PA1 testing DLCs for that.
Yeah.
And then after we release, we're not entirely sure how we're going to do with that group or what we're going to do. But for me at least, I want to keep it in some sort of form for all the upcoming patches and DLCs. So, any
feedback from people in the community is very valuable to us and has always been. So again, add your feedback and suggestions on what to come in the game into the forum so that we can look at that. And with that, I think we're actually done with the Q&A for today with the questions. We've answered a lot of the questions. I've seen some of the questions that we have answered previously has been asked. You can go back and watch the VOD afterwards so that you have all of the information of this as well. It might be worded a little bit differently, but we have touched on a lot of subjects today about what's happening, what are we doing going forward, and is there labor? There is labor.
Prison labor, yes. Yes. That's one of the, we have one bug. No, actually, I think that's fixed. But yes, we have prison labor, so they can work in the laundry and in the kitchen. Yes.
Yes. Nice.
That's great.
Yes, with that, I'm going to thank you so much for being here, talking to the community with me, taking time from you and your precious schedule. I'm very appreciative towards that, and I hope that the community is as well. I think they are. And yeah. I hope
Pleasure being here.
Yeah, I mean, you're welcome back anytime.
I'll have to.
Fantastic. Then we're going to say thank you everyone so much for the stream, and we'll see you later.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.